Good morning. My name is Gary Hahnemann. Today is August the 30th, 2018, and I have been a longtime member of Carroll Citizens for Racial Equality, a consortium of colleagues here in Carroll County that work at racial justice issues. I'm also a longtime employee of Carroll County Youth Service Bureau. And today I have the great privilege of spending some time talking to Lynn Wheeler, the Executive Director of our Carroll County Library. Good morning, Lynn.
Good morning, Gary.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
So I want to cover a number of issues with you today. But first, I want to bring greetings from a number of organizations, representatives that sit on the CCRE, or Carroll Citizens for Racial Equality Steering Committee. And I know you're going to be familiar with a lot of these groups and the people that provide the leadership. So I'd like to go through those. There's the NAACP, there's the Human Relations Commission, our local PFLAG organization, Common Ground on the Hill. At McDaniel College, we have someone from Carroll Community College on our committee, St. Paul's United Church of Christ, our local Board of Education, the Ira and Mary Zepp Center for Peace and Nonviolence, and our health department. And we have terrific people from all of those organizations that serve on our steering committee for really over 20 years, and they all bring great tidings and congratulations to you on your tenure and the leadership that you've provided in the arena of civil rights and racial equality to our library system and to the greater community.
Well, thank you so much, Gary. And of course, I'm very, very proud and honored that the library has been a very active partner with Citizens for Racial Equality for many, many years. And it has brought tremendous opportunity for engaging communication, cultural activities to our community. And I'm very proud of that role we've been able to play as part of that wonderful group working very hard.
So I'd like to start off with asking you to, from your history and experience, talk about what you've seen as the progress and the initiatives of the library system with regard to the issues of equality, racial justice, and the humanities here in Carroll County.
Well, thank you, Gary. Our staff are very, very interested in reaching out and making sure to engage all of the community. And we've had many opportunities to do that over the last 14 years that I've been here. And one thing that has really been a great benefit is the establishment of the One Maryland, One book program through Maryland Humanities. That program is probably maybe not quite 10 years old, but it has brought wonderful books to our community to share. And you and I had the opportunity to read and discuss Ron Suskind's amazing book, on A Hope on the Unseen, about the educational challenges of urban school systems.
Right.
But we have done many of those One Maryland, One books as a partnership with Citizens for Racial Equality. And as you know, when we had Sherman Alexie here, we brought in Keith Colston, who is head of Indian Affairs for Maryland, which I think was quite interesting to a lot of people that we even had that office. He was quite interesting. And the list goes on. We've been able to bring in Raina Grande, who was one of the authors, who talked about her immigration experience in The Distance Between Us. Very, very moving. She spoke for us. Also, Maryland Humanities has allowed us to bring in very interesting speakers. We had a session at the Arts Center with Malcolm and Martin, which was a very compelling discussion between Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. We also have been able to bring in superb portrayals of Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman, We've had exhibits of quilts and other things that pertain to important activity in the civil rights movement. So the One Maryland One book, which is also funded by the Maryland State Library, has been a wonderful way for us to engage the community in a lot of important cultural discussions.
Lynn, one of the things that we've always appreciated about your leadership is the whole concept of partnerships that our county library system has with a lot of the organizations that I mentioned earlier, but also statewide as well as locally. Can you talk a little bit about kind of how those partnerships were formed and how you see them?
It is an absolute joy and pleasure to do this work. So we are very, very blessed to have the opportunity to look out there and see what partnerships are available and what opportunities are available. And I speak for my entire staff that they are always looking for ways to bring the community together. One of the great gifts of Carroll County is that we believe strongly in partnerships. And you've just read off a wonderful cavalcade of partners who participate in Citizens for Racial Equality. Across the communities of Carroll County, people partner together to make positive change. And we have seen that over and over again. And so the great role for the library has been to look out there and say, what important partnerships can we make? And how can we make a difference to bringing whatever that partnership is focusing on to all members of the community? And another example, more high-tech, is magic. The Maryland, I'm not even going to try to say what the thing is, but anyway, okay. It's a brilliant tech-focused initiative to engage students in hackathons and capture the flag events that help them to learn and feel comfortable with coding and with working in computers. And again, there are many, many partners in that initiative, including the Community Media Center, that are bringing those opportunities. So Carroll is just rich with opportunities where we can work together to engage and enhance the fabric of our community. One of my all-time favorites is the African American Read-In.
Yes, with the young people.
This is a partnership with CCRE and Carroll County Public Schools, the NAACP, and the Community Media Center, where students from African American students from every high school in the county come and read selections from important African American literature. It's held at the Arts Center, and I can say that truly is one of the most moving events that I have seen, to see the impact that these wonderful writers have on students and how they try to portray that through their reading, and then sometimes they're actually acting out. And this year, we saw some original pieces from some of those students.
Lynn, one of the things our committee has so appreciated over the years is the active participation of the county library staff in our annual conferences, training efforts, contributions to our newsletter, and that doesn't just happen by circumstance. I think that that's been a countywide effort on your part and your staff to be active learners and participants.
Well, I know that our staff throughout the county is committed to treating people with respect and kindness and helping them to meet their goals, their educational goals, their learning goals, their goals to come in and have a place to meet, to sit, to have a few moments of pause and respite in their lives. And so we look across the spectrum as how can we best serve all of the people in the community. And I think going to a CCRE conference, they get to hear especially issues that may be of import to segments of the community, and they learn how best to help to address those, how best to interact with various community members. But they also are very proud of then taking that opportunity to invite a wide range of the community in. I'm very proud, for example, that all of our libraries have programs that they partner with Target, Change, and the ARC to bring in groups from those organizations to enjoy the library experience and to learn. We just, for example, had a group from ARC come to Exploration Point. It's our makerspace in the Eldersburg Library, and they were fully engaged in all of the wonderful technology that allows people to now create using technology. You know, when Andrew Carnegie first had the vision in his philanthropic effort to support libraries, his goal was to provide important information for people to learn and prosper, to learn and then to lift themselves up by having the opportunity to know the information that would help them to thrive. I think that the libraries have stayed very true to that role, even though the formats have changed. Then it was just books. Now we have books, a wide range of other formats. But we also have a lot of technology that people come to the library to use, to make connections. And now with the exciting changes in technology that make amazing things like 3D printers available to the public, people can actually create. They can fabricate their dream equipment or whatever they would like to make.
Right.
And they have the chance to scale that up. So it's really exciting to see how that we're still true to that role of providing the shared resources that help our community to thrive and prosper.
Lynn, one of the things that we've always appreciated about your leadership is the whole concept of partnerships that our county library system has with a lot of the organizations that I mentioned earlier, but also statewide as well as locally. Can you talk a little bit about kind of how those partnerships were formed and how you see them?
Well, the nice thing about Maryland libraries is we have the nickname of Library Heaven. And that is extremely well deserved because way back in the late 40s when library law was written into state law and county library systems were given the authority to form and to have access to state aid, then state librarian Nettie B. Taylor said, look, all of you libraries will play well together. And we all said, yes, Nettie. And as a result, everybody in the state of Maryland has access to every library in Maryland. Not only can you use your library card in Ocean City or in Deep Creek Lake, but also you can avail yourself of the entire collection of all libraries in Maryland. And this is a massive benefit for customers in Maryland. So if you have something that you would like to borrow from Pratt, of course, they have a huge and in-depth collection. And those materials can be borrowed and sent out to your branch, Westminster, Eldersburg, whatever it is. You can ask for those materials to be sent there, and they arrive within a day or two. So this sharing of resources is something that not only all librarians are proud of, but also the state. The state funders are very proud of the fact that we are an efficient and effective organization that shares across all borders. And that has made Maryland a very special library state. But not only materials, but also programs. As I mentioned, One Maryland, One Book. We get grants from the Maryland State Library. So there are ways that we can bring in programs. So I think all libraries in Maryland, there are 24 library systems, and we meet regularly and we share ideas, we share information, we share engaging speakers, that kind of thing. And so as a result, all boats rise, and that's very exciting for Maryland.
Right. And so, in addition to your appreciation for what happens on a state level at Maryland and the way that folks work together, you've often said to me you have a great appreciation for how our county government and officials have supported our system.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And maybe you can say a few things about that.
Well, you know, we are very, very fortunate to have great support from Board of Commissioners. Every board that I have worked under in the last 14 years has been very, very supportive of library goals, initiative. We receive the vast majority of our funding from the county, and I am very thankful that the commissioners have always been committed to allowing the library to be important players in the educational fabric of our community. And the state also gives libraries state aid, and I'm very proud of our delegation because they're proud of their libraries and very supportive of libraries. Another thing that occurred in the state about 10 years ago was to establish a capital grant that has allowed libraries to apply for capital funding, and it requires a local match, to improve buildings. And certainly right now we're sitting in the Westminster branch, which has received a number of capital grants that has helped us to renovate and maintain a welcoming and attractive branch for people to use. So it's, we've received tremendous support. And also, I would like to say that I think across the state, taxpayers are proud of the work that library does. They're proud that we have in our community a place that anyone can use. In our case, we're open 67 hours a week to come in and avail themselves of the materials and resources that we have. And our staff believes strongly in providing engaging opportunities. The staff does over 7,000 programs a year, many of which we've mentioned here, but these are engaging for very young children starting at birth up to senior populations. We have programs on applying for Medicare. We have a wide range of programs. Part of what we also like to do, and I'm so proud of this, is feature local authors. So, for example, Dean Minnick suggested that we might be interested in checking out Jack McBride White's then new book, In Carey's Footprints, The Long Walk of Warren Dorsey. So we invited Jack McBride White to do a number of events for us, and we held them not only in branches, but also in places like Carroll Lutheran Village. And Mr. Dorsey, fortunately now 97, always comes along, and he's just a fabulous guy, but he also has a magnificent singing voice. Yes, and he is willing to sing a tune. Jack always asks him, and so it is quite thrilling. But he's had an amazing life. His grandparents were slaves. It's hard to imagine now. And he prevailed through just brilliance and incredible endurance skill to be very, very successful in life. And Jack tells the story beautifully. And so I was so pleased that the first year of the One Carroll partnership with Carroll County Public Schools, CCRE, the library, resulted in featuring Jack McBride White's book. And so he and Mr. Dorsey traveled all over the county and had large audiences very interested. And the neat thing that we learned when we did the tour this year,
the African American Heritage Tour.
Oh, it was fabulous, was that the town of Sykesville has now named their city park the Carey Dorsey Park, which is so exciting and wonderful. And Jack and Mr. Dorsey should be very proud of that.
Lynn, I think our listeners would like to hear about your vision for the future. You've laid the groundwork in a lot of ways for the good work that's been happening in this county for a long time. And looking ahead, what would you like to pass along in terms of recommendations, suggestions to people following in your footsteps?
Well, Gary, I think we are in very good shape. Andrea Bursler is currently the director of the Wycomico Public Library in Maryland, and so many of us have gotten to know her through the library community, and I'm delighted that she's coming, and I'm thankful that our Board of Trustees selected a leader who I think will carry forth the goals of the library. I'm very, very proud of our staff who work tirelessly to ensure they are reaching out to the community and always looking for what are the interests, needs of the community, and trying to meet those needs through collection and through engaging opportunities. So I feel very, very confident that all that we have done will just be built on in the future. And again, the key to success in Carroll County is reaching out and partnering with other organizations. And we do that very well. We have a long, long list of partners. And that has allowed us, and I think all partners, to thrive in Carroll County and bring important opportunities to our community. We have a lot of superb organizations, groups, you've mentioned many, and together we are able to provide a wonderful textured fabric of opportunity to our community. I think that will continue.
So a couple closing thoughts. First of all, on behalf of all my colleagues with CCRE who knew that and encouraged me to have this opportunity with you today, we wish you the very best and Godspeed for the future. You've touched our lives in many ways. And so, what's next? What's the next chapter?
Well, Gary, you know, it's been a tremendous honor and blessing for me to work here. I feel that now that I'm 70, although I'm sure I look a lot older than that, but at any rate, at 70, it's time to give someone else the fabulous opportunity that I've had. And my husband's 87, so if we want to go do something, we better go do it. Okay. But my main and only focus on retiring on November 12th is to fix Thanksgiving dinner. And after that, I'll have to figure it out.
Thank you so much, Lynn.
Thank you, Gary. It's been a true honor and pleasure to work with you.